State. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, so a lot of people have been tagging us in things on TikTok. We always appreciate getting tagged in things on TikTok. It is always a fun time.
Absolutely.
And even though we haven't been posting as much over there, we are going to get better about that, I promise. But I will go on there occasionally and just watch everything that we get tagged in. So do know that if you tag us in something, I am watching it.
Loving it.
Loving
so please keep doing that.
Yeah. So we got tagged in one thing, and I think it was like another podcast. They were doing like a Reddit question. Like this girl had a question for Reddit. And the question was, she'd gone out with this guy. She really liked him. They had hit it off. They went back to one of their places and they were hooking up. And she noticed that he seemed kind of like he's kind of just like pounding away, but not being like super responsive.
Okay.
To like her, I guess, like just not fully like engaged in the moment.
Okay.
And then she realized that he had his AirPods in.
Oh, okay. Was she fucking Leonardo DiCaprio?
I thought the same fucking thing.
Oh my God.
But
He's listening to Smartless.
So,
can you imagine? Oh my God.
well, you know what I have to say? For me and my personality, Smartless might be preferable.
Okay.
Because she stopped him and was like, what's going on?
Oh no.
And he was listening to, like, he had missed a soccer game earlier that day. And was listening to like the highlights, like the rundown of like whatever was happening.
So fucking offensive.
It's so disrespectful.
The disrespect.
And then
How can you even focus on what you're doing?
Yeah.
You don't, because I don't know. Like, hold on, we'll get there. But the most outrageous part is that he put them back in and finished.
No,
like he put them back in, and she
doesn't look like
happen.
I need to be here
and
for
then,
this.
And then she said, this is what she got on Reddit for, because she said, all of my friends are saying this is a deal breaker, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
man.
honey
bunny,
oh my
bunny.
God.
Girl.
First
Deal
of
breaker.
all, have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Sit down.
I need you to come in here and shut the door, please.
Can I get you anything? Glass of wine?
Yeah.
Glass of water?
A hug, approval from your father. I don't know. Like, please. That is the most disrespectful thing. And I was actually, it was so funny. I was just talking to Eric about this last night about, I do think, listen, who am I? I'm not a professional in this at all, but I know for myself at least, and I think it's true for a lot of women, that mentally I have to be stimulated before physical stuff happens. Like they're so tied together. Yeah. Like you could do everything right to me physically right now. Cass, you can come over, like start just doing the nips, like all the that stuff. But
Tune in.
AC/DC.
I feel like a third wheel all of the sudden, but that's fine.
It's
But if
fine.
you're not into it mentally, it's just not gonna. Yeah.
But I do think that you could go up to a guy right now and just like honka, and he'd be like, all right, let's see. Like physical
And that
needs
is how
for
I do
them.
it. It is,
You're like,
that is
nice to meet you.
honka is usually how I go up to many men.
Honka.
I mean, I will say, I don't want to say that like across the board. Like I do know that like there are men for whom like they need to feel intimacy and engagement in that way. But like, that's what I was going to say is like, I want to feel engaged intimately.
Right.
And like,
You gotta feel that
not,
spark.
we're not having a connection.
Yeah.
If like you are listening to fucking like whatever, like Arsenal play in your ear. It's just so weird. And like, then to keep going with that, be like, means you think that there's nothing wrong with it. Like you really don't think that anything is wrong with what you're doing.
And it's so disrespectful to your partner too. Like you're doing something so intimate and you're on purpose, like blocking any kind of real connection.
It feels
you might as well be masturbating.
Right.
Truly.
Yeah, it feels like you're using me.
Yeah.
Like you're using my body.
Yeah. You can get one of those like sex toys, right? Like that are like basically.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen
know
those.
if I need to be here.
Those like silicone, like they look like part like belly button to upper thigh.
Those things freak me the fuck
freak
out.
Me the fuck out. I really feel like if I went over to a guy friend's house or anybody,
and they had a torso,
and I opened the closet.
Torso.
First of all, And where do you put that?
You put it in your
side
closet,
drawer?
and you have
That's
to.
huge.
It's huge. You have to put it in a closet. There's no like covering it up. Like, and if you stumble upon that, that is jarring.
It makes me think of my teddy bear because I definitely. Okay.
Oh my God! Wait.
No. Let me explain because I definitely
We've talked about having our teddy bears still.
Yes, exactly, and how I feel really weird about them being in the closet, and I'm like, do you get weird about having the disembodied
head
torso in the closet? Do you anthropomorphize the torso?
I hope not. Listen, all of this is very bad.
I hate this.
I don't like it.
No.
And listen, I'm not trying to shame anybody. Like you do you, whatever. You're not hurting anybody by like having whatever kind of sex toy you want.
We are pro sex toys here.
Yes.
Yeah,
I just don't want to run into it in your closet. Of course, why am I in your closet? I guess is my other question, Keegan.
I don't know. What if you needed to go grab a blankie? Or something like I don't know. Like you open the linen closet.
I feel like if a guy has one of these things in his closet, he's not going to allow you to get the blankie. He's going to go get him blankie.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know because there are men out there who apparently think it's fine to listen to fucking like sports highlights while they're having sex.
Wow.
I mean, so like I just think some people are clueless as to what is like
what's the
weird
worst
to other
thing?
people.
What is the worst thing somebody could be listening to? Wow. Like you're
Joe
like,
Rogan.
Oh yeah, you took
we're
it
done.
from me.
Like
Tucker
what
Carlson
would Ben Shapiro.
I'm sorry, what?
If you're staying hard listening to Ben Shapiro, we have a fucking problem.
I know. This
problem.
episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
There's an issue. Like that man can't even keep his wife wet.
No,
he's admitted to this on his own show. So,
Jesus.
that would be. I mean, how offended would you be?
Oh, I would.
I'd
leave.
need to reevaluate everything about my life.
Everything.
What choices led me to here?
Why was I attracted to this person?
How
Why
did
were
I
they
attract this person
to me? Yeah, like there's questions. I am, I'm going on a retreat. I'm doing a eat,
silent
play, love
retreat.
Silent retreat,
situation
exactly.
so I can discover myself because clearly,
oh my God,
some soul searching needs
I want
to be done.
a silent retreat just so I don't have to talk about what happened.
I'm gonna have nightmares about that. That's something that you go back to, you ponder. You're like, man.
So what do you think Leo listens to? He seems like a sports highlight guy.
I feel like he's listening to like electronic music.
Oh my God, EDM.
Yeah, I think like yeah.
Why is that so bad though?
He's listening to like Skrillex or something. You know what I mean?
No, he's like dubstep.
Yeah. Which I don't have a problem with electronic music. I'm just saying it gives me a vibe. Like I think he's vaping while doing it.
Oh
or
yeah,
like
he's found another 25-year-old.
Oh, good for him.
I literally can't.
Good for him.
Just the Arrested Development is so
this
strong.
One's special, so we'll see. We'll see.
Jesus Christ.
She's already at the line, so we'll see.
That should be the fuck, marry, kill is Arrested Development men. Because
yes.
and this actually takes me to something
any
that
of them.
we actually got a lot of responses on because it was one of our shorties. We asked people to write in about like tanning and hair mistakes.
Yes.
We got one on our Facebook that
we got an email too, so I'll share that one too.
Perfect.
Oh my
yeah.
Okay.
This is awesome.
This was because I want to just say, because I think it might have been on a shorty. You're right. And it was because Christina told that story of that kid who did like a self-tan right before a date and wore like a white polo. Maybe it wasn't a shorty, but like
streaky.
So funny. Like what a time to be alive whenever that was super popular.
Wow.
So this person shared on our Facebook group, I'm obviously keeping them anonymous. It says, "Oh, you want bad hair dyeing and self-tanner stories?"
I do.
Okay, here you go. I was in a relationship, of course, and we broke up. Shocking, I know. But I was 30. This was 30 years ago. So at the tender age of 19, my blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale idiot self decided, 1, dye my hair black.
Oh, honey. These are post-breakup decisions.
Yes.
Where
bangs.
you're like, bangs. I'm going to like turn blonde to black.
Mm-hmm. And 2, give self-tanner a go.
Oh, baby.
It was I was Halloween walking for weeks and weeks.
Oh, God.
Then my hair grew back and I looked like a skunk. Listen, totally fucking relatable because I have definitely colored my hair black and my hair is light enough to just that when it grows back, I look
you
like
can tell. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so awful. I decided to dye it blonde on top of black.
no.
I had a lovely green hair.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yes.
So what did I do? Pour more bleach on my hair because why not?
Baby. Oh.
Ended up with that cute pixie
You-
90s cut
that's
from
exactly
the Melrose
right.
Place.
You got to cut your losses literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
She did send a picture of her hair when
Yeah.
colored
Was
black.
black.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean
wow.
this with the
Yeah.
utmost respect, but that does look like one of those Betty Page wigs.
Oh, it does look it
Yeah.
does very much look like a wig.
Yeah,
That's
where it's like, oh
so
man,
funny.
honey. And look, I'm for your hair is whatever. Like your hair grows back.
Oh,
Like
please, me
I'm just
too.
like do whatever you want.
I've
but
told
your life.
the story of getting store-bought relaxer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there as well. It did jack shit for me.
Oh,
but,
it broke my shit off.
Christina was a model for us one time.
Oh, yeah.
And a
hair
shame
model?
that I wear.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't do.
You're like, for the record.
And for the record, the person who cut her hair is an incredibly good hair cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And the cut itself was cut well.
But
However, it
It was-
did leave Christina looking a bit Lord Fauntleroy.
Yes, it was very much a
Wait, what did your ex-husband call you? A muffin?
that
yes.
is fucked up.
Yeah.
I didn't love
How
that.
dare you? Yeah, you know, the thing is, I trust Cassie. I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, trust no bitch when
No,
it comes to my
truly.
hair. Like, I
No.
really don't like trust anybody. I
When it comes,
old to
when it
have
comes
those
to the
mistakes.
cut,
fucked
yeah.
up
When I'm in my
experiences.
20s, that's when you can make mistakes like that. Early 30s, you're allowed to have those hair mistakes because you still got everything else banging.
Yeah.
When you hit 40, honey bunny.
You're like, hair needs to be right. Hair needs to be acting right.
Honey bunny.
Okay, I have a fake tan story.
Okay,
I bet you guys
love
will
this.
appreciate this. So the name that came in, this person was not taking any risks. The name that came in was Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
Like,
No.
Don't
Don't look for
do
me.
it.
I don't know her.
I don't know.
I do not
you
exist.
will appreciate this. This is funny. Okay. I fake tan all the time. I'm a pro at doing it at home, but a couple years ago, I decided to try going to a tanning salon for a spray tan. It was my first time ever going in one before, so I make sure I get my money's worth and get the ultra dark with the fast develop.
Oh, God.
At the time,
girl.
I'm not sure.
All I can see is the Ross from Friends.
That's it.
He keeps turning around and just getting the front done. So funny. At the time, I'm not sure what was going on, but every time I had to pee, I absolutely could not hold it and would have to sprint to the bathroom. I peed in my car multiple times in traffic. So something was going on. I hope she went to the doctor.
Yeah, that sounds like a UTI or something.
Yeah. The machine starts spraying me down, and
No.
when I'm almost done, I have the sudden urge to pee.
No.
I couldn't hold it in and couldn't get out of there in time to put my clothes on
No.
and make it to the restroom. I decide my only option is to pee in the machine. So I start squirting pee everywhere, all down my legs and on my feet.
The streaks.
Anonymous.
That's exactly right. You just like keep my name out of your fucking
I
mouth.
don't fucking know her. Not.
Who peed in the machine?
I don't know.
And you walk out and you're like, that fucking thing smells like piss. And you just like dribbles on your feet.
I'm standing there. Fuck me, dude. I'm standing there as the fans start to dry my tan, thinking, what in the actual hell am I going to do? I step out looking in the mirror, realizing I have streaks all down my legs where my pee took off the tan and my
Honey.
feet are completely tan free. I start to completely panic on how the heck I'm going to clean this up and how I can never show my face in here again.
You're done here.
You got to move out of that town.
Yeah.
I realized they gave me a small white towel. So I start soaking up my pee with the towel and run to the bathroom to wring out my pee into the sink.
How much?
The sink. There's a toilet in there.
And then
throw it away.
go back and clean up the rest of the mess. Then the next problem hits me. What do I do with the towel? I decide to put it in my purse and
Oh my God. First of all, how big's your purse? Second of all,
I am dying.
pee.
Throw it in the trash.
Oh my God.
oh shit.
And the machine says clean cycle starts 10. 9,
No.
8. I watch to see what it means, and then the whole machine starts spraying water all over itself to clean up the spray tan, and now my pee mess. I stand there feeling like a complete idiot with my pee-soaked towel in my brand new purse that I now have to throw away. I go home, and at the time, I worked as a bikini barista.
No.
So I was so tired from my morning shift that I decided to take a nap. I wake up from my nap, realizing I never showered the tan off.
No.
And look in the mirror, and my tan has completely developed, and I have white streaks coming down from my crotch all the way to my feet. Anyone could have looked at me and realized I pissed myself after my tan.
I'm sweating.
My God, me too. I'm like taking my sweater off because I'm sweating from this.
Oh my
I get
God.
in the shower and try so hard to exfoliate it all off, but it doesn't budge.
Nope.
I had to go to work as a bikini barista the next day and was asked by multiple customers what the situation was with my legs.
Nope.
Vitiligo.
Yeah, I don't. It's a weird. It's a skin condition. I don't know. I need to go to the doctor. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Tinea versicolor.
Some of them guessed what had happened as it was so unbelievably obvious. To top it off, a woman came through trying to promote her lingerie business and asked me to put on a hat with her company's name so she could take a picture of me in it. I let her, and she posted the picture on her Instagram with my pee-stained legs on full display.
No.
Now you can't even move.
No.
That shit's online.
It's on a business profile.
Wow.
Oh
My God. Amazing.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing, Anonymous.
Oh
We
my
appreciate
God. That was,
man.
oh man.
What a ride.
We used to go tanning all the time. I've never self-tanned, but I've like the old school, like, 90s.
Tanning booth.
2000s. Yeah.
The tanning booth was an era, and I could not believe it. Like, I went to a very white school as like a not white person. And in middle school, there were girls walking around with legs darker than me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, in a middle school, parents were just like, yeah, it's
Sure.
fine.
Tanning.
Go get in the tanning booth.
Yep.
It's fine.
I had many orange folk in my school.
Yeah.
And I remember too, because this was like the 90s. And so tanning, self-tanner was not up to par.
No.
And still too, you'll still run into, you remember like the early aughts, man, it was like Oompa Loompa.
The early aughts were the worst. Like, it was actually like, it was the beauty standard for you to be orange. Like, it wasn't even like a nice golden, like if you look at pictures of like Paris Hilton at that time, like orange.
Tara Reid.
And the combination of like orange tan with like sun-in. Do you remember sun-in?
Sun-in.
People would like
Yes,
spray the
God.
shit out of their
Oh,
hair.
yeah. My hair orange, my skin
Skin
orange. Living that orange life.
Yeah.
White shoes.
Yeah, and
White kids.
concealer on the lips and like all the eyeliner you've ever seen in your whole fucking life.
Light, like white eyeshadow.
Yes.
Why
White
were we
eyeshadow.
like that? It's so
Skinny
weird.
eyebrows.
Oh, the skinny.
What were we
What,
doing?
honestly, what
I don't
were we
know.
thinking?
I don't know. But look, I will say this. Spray tan, home tanners, preferable
better now.
to going to the tanning booth.
Yes.
Like, don't put yourself in one of those booths. They're not good for you.
Right.
Like, don't baby oil yourself up and go lay in direct sunlight. Like,
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gosh, my parents, it's so funny because my parents both are people who tan very, very easily. They're the people who would like put margarine on their skin and go out in the sun. I'm just like, and then it was me in like a full bonnet, all the sunscreen you've ever seen in your life, and like in the
sun
shade.
shirt.
Yeah.
I tan well. I tan really well. But like,
how's bragging camp going?
But it's still not good for you. I still put on a ton of sunscreen, like anytime I go out, because it's not like, it's not. We just didn't know back in the day. I saw a thing with Brooke Shields recently where she was doing like a skincare routine, and she was saying that just like growing up in the 70s, it was literally baby oil and getting aluminum foil.
Oh yeah,
to like reflect as many sun rays, as many like UV rays onto your face as possible. Like,
but
man,
what I'm over though is people like Brooke Shields who have generally probably like the luckiest of genetic
well, and all the money.
codes and all the money
Yeah.
set up for them to be like, oh yeah, like, and I still look fabulous because of this miracle.
No,
that you're like,
I have to say, I hate this
ma'am.
trend of like, I think Vanity Fair is doing it where they're just like, Ariana Grande takes you through her skincare routine or whatever. I'm just like,
it's money.
It's
money.
It's money. It's
literally
not the
swimming in money.
Lemaire- It's not the La Mer face cream, which is already like $300. But it's not that. It's that you go in for regular laser treatments on your face.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
oh man.
It's money.
All right. So for Fuck, Marry, Kill,
Yes.
what do you think about guys who are trying too hard? The try hard guys.
The try guys.
The guy, not them, not them specifically, but the guys who are like trying to stay too young.
Oh.
The Tom Sandovals. We can say
I mean, we can put Tom Sandoval in there.
Oh my God.
We're all going to kill him unless there's like
I
worse
think Leo.
options.
I think Leo DiCaprio belongs in there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He seems like a try hard. You keep trying to get these 25-year-olds.
Well, he's not trying. He's doing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it is upsetting.
It is. I don't love it.
All right. Okay, we can do Leo. Well, who else?
Yeah. Who else is out there single and ready to mingle with?
Well, Al Pacino, because things aren't going well with him and his 29-year-old.
Really?
Right.
She's petitioning for full custody, which I'm like, well, yeah.
Whoa.
That man's like 90 years old. He
What's
can't have
gonna
an
do?
infant.
Have a baby.
What's he doing?
What?
Pop can't be responsible.
No.
Okay. All right. So we got Al Pacino, Leo DiCaprio.
Al Pacino now, it should be said.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, like
Okay.
current
Yes.
Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Try hard guys.
90-year-old Al Pacino. So we're just picking men who date women who are way younger than them, it seems like.
Yeah. Punching below their weight class.
Or
Above.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Try hard guys.
Yeah.
Woof. I hate all of these.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna continue down this road, we could throw in Dane Cook.
Oh my God, yes. Fucking yes.
This is the worst
Yes.
fuck, marry, kill I've
have
ever experienced.
It's
And
awful.
I know what I'm gonna do. Actually, if it's those three, I know what I'm gonna do.
We have to throw Dane Cook in there. That's
Wow.
so
All right.
perfect.
Okay.
He's had so much skin work and
Oh my God.
All right,
he looks insane.
I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm
Okay.
gonna marry Al Pacino.
Oh, wait. So we're doing 4?
Are we?
Oh, I thought we were replacing Al Pacino with Dane Cook.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
So
Oh,
we're-
that makes it fucking worse.
oh no, it's all awful. Exactly right.
So you're saying Tom Sandoval,
yep. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio, and
Yep.
Dane Cook.
Wow.
Okay, I still know what I'm going to do,
Wow.
and it's disgusting,
It's
and I
all
hate
woof.
myself.
I
but
hate this.
there is no good answer here.
No,
I'm
I hate all of this.
I'm gonna marry Leo
Yeah.
if he'll have me. He won't.
I'm way too old for him.
I'm too old for him. I'm too old for him.
I think I'm still like 5 years younger than him, but I am
Yeah,
way too
yeah,
old for him.
I'm too old. Yeah, I'm well above his limit. But the other options are simply
You can't.
you can't
Absolutely
do
cannot.
it. Like you can't do it.
And why? What makes it so? Because Dane Cook,
Disgusting.
same boat, right? Dating somebody, marrying somebody who's like,
Yeah, but he met her when she was like 15, which is so gross to me.
okay, you're right.
Like I just am so like
He's so
ick,
fucking awful.
ick.
Honestly, he really is the worst. We have to K him.
I am.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Which means I have to fuck Tom Sandoval, which I hate. I hate that.
I think as long as there's a mirror in the room, we'll be okay.
For you or for
For
him?
him.
I'm going to marry Tom Sandoval.
Well,
Girl, I
Well-
thought the days of you going to bad band practice were behind you.
not now.
You
No,
want to
I
watch
don't
that
have
man?
to, I don't have to go. No.
You
I'm
know
not
he's
going
to play recordings of himself singing Stacy's mom
I don't have
while
to
you
watch.
guys bang.
He's
I
gonna.
don't
He's
have to
going to
watch.
sing. He's not gonna.
Yeah.
He's not gonna.
What if he sang
play it.
while you were having sex?
That's what I'm saying.
I am.
Oh, God.
I am banking on the fact that he will have a rude awakening sooner rather than later. I'm banking on that. I think Leo is who he is forever. But I think I'm.
You think Tom has room to grow?
I think he has got room to grow.
Okay.
wow.
And I'm banking on that. So yeah, I'm gonna marry Tom
Thoughts and
Sandoval.
prayers.
And I'm gonna
Totally.
fuck
To us all.
I'm gonna fuck Leo, and hopefully he'll share his AirPods and I
Yeah,
can
he
listen
can give
to
you one.
EDM with him.
You can have the other one. It'll be.
I
That's
just want
actually
to do
very
it to stay
sweet.
in rhythm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm doing this for us.
Wow, Wow, that is a blast from the past.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah. Dane Cook is K all the way.
You have to. He's gross.
Absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And he looks awful. He looks worse than Sandoval.
He just seems real shitty. Like look, what Leo does is gross and pathological, and like he should definitely see a fucking therapist about it, because like what's going on there. But to my knowledge, it's never been a thing where it's been like
malicious.
He knew his wife. Dane Cook knew his wife from the time she
I don't
was
love
like
that. That's fucking gross.
That weirds me out.
Forget not loving it. I fucking hate
don't like
it. It's grooming and it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
He's garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly, all these men are garbage, and I hate.
Yeah, I always get like so nervous, and I know we've talked about it before when we do the FMKs. Be like, I wonder what's going to come out 5 years from now.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's already happened. With, Yeah.
But, I mean, like Russell Brand, which is the least shocking person on the planet.
No. But at least Leonardo. I will say this: at least Leonardo DiCaprio has talent.
Yeah.
Okay. Like at least there's talent there. Like he might be.
You're right.
His personal life seems a little questionable and shitty, but he cares about the environment.
Yeah.
And he's talented. Okay. I'll take my wins when I can get them.
Yeah.
And so like.
I think that's like I said, that's a big if, banking on somebody, growing and changing.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just accepting that the marriage is going to be what it is. Like, there's no changing that man.
There's money there. It's better than, I don't know.
We're going to have to just have a deal where it's just like, it's fine. Just leave me at home. I'll be by the pool. You go do whatever you do.
Yeah.
I'll be here when you get back.
Put your headphones on.
Put your headphones on.
Just put your headphones. We just have to have an understanding that that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Cass, what are you doing?
That's it for me. I'm gonna marry Leo as well. I agree. I think that if anything, we're gonna have at least the most to be able to talk about. I think that we could be friends because we're closest in age to like understanding, like we grew up with the same things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's like the best I can
hope like for. You gotta get him where you can. Like
I stretching for anything there.
But Tom Zan, he just skeeves me out.
I fucking
that
can't.
Mustache.
I don't want to. I don't even want to fuck him.
No, me neither.
I don't even.
Speaking of tans, I feel like he's very.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, gross! Like honestly, I want to get that doll from that guy's apartment that we were talking about. Just the torso. Just the torso. And, like then scoot out.
Leave it there. Yeah, and then you can just read in the corner or something. He probably wouldn't even notice. He's not looking at you.
That's what I'm saying. As long as there's a mirror in there, I put one of those under a blanket like Pornhub, and I'm out.
I love that you're gonna just trick him. Yep. Just pull a little.
He'll be fine.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh God.
Well, we do have a new patron.
Oh, hey.
So I want to give a big shout out to Gretchen Holmgren.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us on Patreon. We are so thrilled to have you. Again, we always say it, but we are just so grateful for all of our patrons and all of our listeners. It means so much to us that you support us. And we've been going through a bit of a transition right now. And so your support is all the more important.
Yeah. So much. And if anybody wants to teach me or give us some stuff for live streams, anybody who is a tech genius, please reach out to us because we want to watch movies with you guys and do things with you guys. So reach out to me so that you can teach me how to do it because YouTube's not helping me very much right now. Anyways, you guys want to take 5?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Bye. I said bye. See ya.
This episode is brought to you by EveryPlate. I absolutely love EveryPlate, and it's so helpful for budgeting in the fall. You get more bang for your buck with America's best meal value kit. EveryPlate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping, which is awesome. I also hate making grocery lists, so EveryPlate is amazing. It's also very high quality ingredients, sustainably sourced, and it makes meal times easier without compromising on quality.
Yeah, every time I know Chris and we signed up for it, we've saved so much money. It's insane how much money we've spent. I did not expect it. And every meal has been so freaking good. Like I literally every time, like the first.
What's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. There's one that's like chickpeas that are toasted. Oh my God. It was so delicious.
The vegetarian meals are so good.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, we've cut down on meat so much just by doing it because it's amazing meals.
Get $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/myworstdate and entering code 49MWD. Get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/myworstdate and enter code 49MWD. Cheers.
And we're back. Okay, so I'm going to kick us off with stories. I do want to say at the top of this one, because I understand. We hear you, listeners. Who this is not a poop story. I want to go ahead and say that. However, for those of us who are sensitive, it used to be me before this podcast ruined me.
Oh, dude.
Right? I was a delicate flower too once. I understand. This is not a poop story.
We broke Keegan.
I'm broken. Yeah, like completely. It is what it is. But it is, maybe it has some elements that you might not love if that really grosses you out. So just skip this one and go to the next one if that's how you feel.
It's a gross.
There's my disclaimer. It's not even that gross. It's just I don't want to take anybody by surprise because I feel like we've had a lot of bodily fluid content. Okay. So all right. So I'd been dating my high school sweetheart for about a month, and we are now at the milestone of the first dinner with her parents. Oh. I arrive at her place as planned, couple hours before dinner, so her dad could have the opportunity to chat with me. Not something teenage me would put high on my list of awesome things to do. Anyway, the conversation is actually going surprisingly well. I had always been interested in investing and the stock market and knew a great deal more than the typical 17-year-old would on these matters. I bet he was insufferable. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Talk about NFT.
Cryptocurrency. 17-year-old who wants to talk about crypto. Whoa. Low on my list of things I want to do.
Yeah.
Her dad had just brought home a computer and set up an online trading account. So I was able to more than hold up my end of the discussion. Her mom was great as well, coming in frequently to give us updates on dinner, asking me about the universities I had applied for, and keeping my glass of iced tea topped off. Things were going great till I felt the pressure in my bowels indicating the need to release a fart. I was worried that could potentially be registered on the Richter scale.
Oh no. I'll step outside and take a call real quick.
Yeah, I got to take a call. All those important stock calls that I need to take at 17.
Buy.
Yeah. After squirming uncomfortably for a couple of minutes, I basically excused myself mid-sentence and run to the bathroom located right next to the family room where I had been chatting with her parents. Due to the proximity, my hypersensitive teenage mind, addled with what seemed like gallons of sugar-infused iced tea, started to worry that they would be able to hear me if I just let it rip.
Oh, dude, turn the faucet on. That's a tale as old as time.
Right. I come up with the brilliant plan to release the iced tea and release my gaseous package mid-flush to cover up the sound. We've all done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A flush.
You wait for someone, like if you're in public.
Oh. Yeah.
You wait for someone else to flush.
Yeah.
And then let loose.
Smiling at my evil brilliance, I unzip my pants and proceed to release a stream of fury that threatened to crack the porcelain of their beautiful throne.
Jesus.
The pleasure from this release bordered on ecstasy.
Okay, sir.
Fearing not being able to hold on to my gas bomb much further, I lean forward and execute the flush that would complete this masterful, well-coordinated subterfuge. That's when my watch band decided to pop open, allowing my beautiful steel band Citizen calculator watch. It was a gift from my godmother, but I'll make no excuses. I am a dork and loved that watch.
Aww.
Calculator watch.
Amazing.
To slip off into the swirling pool. Take one spin around in what seemed like super slow motion and disappear down the black hole with the remainder of the quickly processed iced tea in a loud gurgle, ending in a stunned silence, during which my butt decides it's the perfect time to release the loudest, earth-shattering fart. Which seems to reverberate off the walls of the tiny room.
They're like sitting in the family room. They're like, I wonder what's going on with Steven. It's taking such a long time. They're like, earthquake.
Leaving a scent vaguely reminiscent of roadkill.
No.
I walk out in shock and profound sadness due to my loss, only to look up and see 3 pairs of inquisitive and what seemed to me at the time disturbed eyes. After informing them of what had transpired, namely the part about flushing my watch, I leave out the other details.
Oh, you don't. You don't need to bring them up. They heard it. They smell it.
We don't got to talk
Her
about it.
bemused father walks into the bathroom with a grin to check if the pipes are clogged by the watch. His grin quickly changes to a grimace as he turns on the exhaust fan and says in my general direction, maybe we'll let that air out a bit before we check. It's so Dinner went pretty quiet. Funny, no one really felt like eating. Good time. You gotta I don't know how you asked to go to a different bathroom, but like you can't go to the bathroom off the kitchen.
No,
like dinner's being served. That shit's gonna permeate. Yeah, you're like, I gotta get something out of my car. I gotta get my charger, my phone charger, something. Like I gotta go outdoors.
I gotta share it with nature.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my Lord. I wonder if he ever did get his watch back.
I know.
I doubt it.
No. I didn't even.
It wouldn't work
fuck
even
that
if,
watch.
Yeah, we're done.
She gone.
She gone.
Yep.
All right. So the story goes, I had gotten a Tinder account, didn't really have standards of any kind. Swiped right.
Yeah,
That's always a great way to enter
At least
online dating.
honest about it. Like, I had no standards.
Early baby dating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been there.
You don't know what you want yet.
Yeah, you're just like, sure, swipe right. Sounds good. A guy I found attractive. But then there was this green and blue mohawk, nerdy smile, cute dog, same giant mustache magnet on the fridge. I was at film school. Any kind of colored hair and quirky demeanor was right up my
I need
alley.
to know what year this was. Because bonding over, they're like,
that mustache,
you have a mustache magnet. That is a specific time and place.
Feels like 2008.
Yes.
It really feels like 2007.
When people
8.
had those like mustache tattoos on their
Yes.
fingers and shit like that. Was that some kind of like secret underground code?
Where did that come from? It's almost like, do you remember the S that everyone would draw?
Yeah.
It was the S.
Yeah.
It's like that for a different generation. I don't know why we got obsessed with mustaches for a while.
Yeah.
It was around the same time people were also obsessed with bacon. Do you remember when people were obsessed with bacon?
Oh my God, bacon and everything.
Socks. Like bacon scented shit.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
Bacon.
Why would we
and,
like this?
I feel like that's when we started getting bacon and Bloody Marys too.
Yeah.
Well,
Bacon.
when I ate meat, I was on board with that.
No, listen, I'm not
Yeah.
saying there's anything bad about it.
No.
Do I like a mustache and bacon still? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird time.
It was a weird time.
And owl necklaces.
Yes.
What was going on?
Arrows.
I don't know.
Lots of arrows.
And anchors. Anyway.
All right. Enough nostalgia. Anyway, colored hair, quirky demeanor was right up my alley. Amidst a flood of men posing with fish they had just caught.
Oh, okay. Well, if those are the options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go with
give me an art school boyfriend.
Yeah.
Give me mohawk, mustache
All
magnet.
day.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
day.
We matched, started talking. He was super into me. And before I knew it, he had arranged to meet. He lived far away and I had no car, so I had to take an Uber. That was a whole event that requires lots of planning. So I got all gussied up, day of, called him to confirm, got his voicemail, which was him making some kind of witch-like cackle and a spooky greeting. Just more quirkiness that I found appealing.
Listen, again, that was a time and place where like people being like quirky, like manic pixie dream boyfriend was
Yeah.
that was a real thing. But these days, I can't think of anything more cringe than if I got someone's voice. They had like a quirky voicemail.
I wouldn't get into, well, first of all, never
Voicemail.
leave a voicemail. Ever.
Also,
ever.
Calling.
Oh.
I would never call
Well,
somebody.
I think this had to have been
Like
at least
there's
a decade
very
ago.
specific period.
Time period.
It was the same period in which you would like play a song on the radio into your hey, it's Cassie. Just
You can change your ringtone.
yes.
You're like, wow.
Beethoven's Fifth or whatever like everyone had for a while.
I had Regina Spektor's Fidelity as my ringtone at this period of time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had Sex on Fire.
On my Motorola Razor.
Ooh, Kings of Leon.
I love Kings of Leon. I still do. I don't feel bad about it.
There you go.
I don't feel away.
Okay.
Anyway. Called again, voicemail, and again, voicemail. I didn't know at the time that if the phone rings once and then goes to voicemail, it means they hung up on you. I also didn't they're declining.
Oh,
the call.
declining the call. Yeah.
Girls, you're not getting that expensive Uber.
I also didn't have it in my stupid 20-year-old head that if they don't pick up after the second call, they're not going to pick up. What I did have in my head was, well, he's not picking up. Maybe something happened to his phone, but I have his address. I'm going to go anyway. Oh,
honey bun, you can't. No, sweetie, sweet angel. Don't do it.
20.
What we're not going to do.
You can't go to his house.
You can't. When he's been declining your calls.
Why do you have his address? Did she say?
Because he invited her over.
All of this is very bad. All of this is very bad.
Got my Uber and we're off.
No.
It's a bit of a ways. So I make small talk with the driver. This real chill, probably in his 30s. Back then I tended to overshare to anyone who would listen due to my naivete with the world and such. And it came up in conversation that I was heading to a date with a man I'd never met at his house.
This Uber driver's like, I'm about to lay some truth on you. I'm in my 30s.
The driver.
He pulls over and he's like,
listen.
All right,
we need to talk. Yeah, I need to be your mentor.
The driver with more forethought and worldly experience than me was sketched out by this and expressed his concern for me. I thanked him, but ultimately brushed it off.
to be 20.
Yeah.
And to know more than anybody.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized this had to be much more recent than we thought because Uber.
I feel like 2011, 2000.
We didn't have Ubers in 2011.
When did? Okay, that's
So
a good
I don't
question.
know.
Yeah, and who are you calling on the phone?
Yeah. Dude.
Anyway,
I have to
Mystery.
say, when
20.
my phone rings, I feel the
little bit
same
of
way
panic.
Yeah.
if someone comes and rings the doorbell.
Dude,
like
someone
they're
knocked
equal.
on my door. I was home alone
No.
and somebody knocked on my door. It
We're
scared
not
the
gonna-
shit out of me. I
Nope.
looked in the window. It was like two guys from Verizon trying to get me to switch my service over. But there is
Dude, that
nothing more
5G
terrifying.
internet is fucking
It's
dope.
dope.
though.
You should get
It's
it.
really good.
You really should.
I was
Yeah.
like, sorry, I'm busy. I'm in the middle of something. Bye.
I'm in the middle of living. Sorry. When we finally got there, the driver told me something along the lines of, quote, if this doesn't turn out the way you plan and you need to get out of here, give me a call. My number's on the app. I'll be over at the strip mall waiting for you, my next ride. And so I bid him adieu. And there I was on the steps of my date's house. I went to knock, no answer. Knocked again, no answer. But I could tell people were inside. I could see shadows through the curtains and hear them walking around and talking. After a while of me standing there, literally 10 minutes, a girl answers the door. I wish I could give you more of a play-by-play of what happened with the dialogue, like most people do. But it was such a blur to me.
Yeah, she
filled
blacked
with
out.
Red hot shame and blackout embarrassment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've been there where you're so embarrassed that your brain is trying to protect you from yourself. And
exactly.
It's just we don't need to. Shh. We don't need to shut down. We don't need to know what happened.
Shuts out blackout embarrassment that I only remember key points. 1, something about him having a stomach sickness, and that's why he wasn't coming out.
He can't answer the phone?
Definitely a lie. 2, from context from the conversation, I concluded that it was his sister who answered the door. 3, fucking wrong. It was his girlfriend.
Of course it was.
Come back from a long time away. 4, she didn't even seem phased when I told her I was a Tinder date. 5, I never even saw this guy other than his silhouette through the window.
Oh.
He was too much of a coward to even face me.
Wow.
He had his girlfriend
That
go out
gives
there
me-
and put let a girl down easy. That
That
is
gives
fucked.
me the fucking ick in a way that I did not know I could still get the
Oh
ick.
my God, that is
I've
so
got
fucked
so
up.
much ick.
Your stomach is
This
kicking.
fucking Mohawk motherfucker.
Yep.
This-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What a creep.
What a creep.
Also, girlfriend.
Honey,
I know.
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I
What
need-
are you doing?
I
you need to get in that Uber
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah, he needs to give you guys both some wisdom.
Yeah.
He needs to lay some wisdom on you.
So I didn't even get to have this date with this guy. Maybe that disqualifies this from being a worst date story. but it sure was hell to me. I just went out to the curb, sat down, started crying. I eventually did call the Uber guy, who was indeed still waiting there. He gave me a ride home, and when I got out, he told me it was on him. But before driving off, warned me not to let this happen again. I thanked him, and happy to say I have not been that stupid since.
Out there just changing lives.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Uber Angel, I believe, is what he's
Uber Angel. Oh, 5 stars.
5 stars for sure.
5 stars. Wow. His girlfriend. So that's this person. He's got the let her down, or just tell her I have a stomach ache.
That's so fucked up. That is so fucked. Tell her my tummy hurts.
Ugh.
Gross.
It wouldn't be me, I'll tell you that.
Dude, I'll tell you what, the TikTok FYP keeps bringing up that guy that does the impressions of the broke boyfriend.
Oh. Yeah.
Dude,
he is
so good. I got to see another
slaying it.
I love it.
He is so on point. I am so triggered, but also very amused every time he does it. I'm going to have to look it up before we go so we can shout it out at the end. But ladies, you have got to check this out because I know
Mohawk
we all
sounds
fucking.
like
he sounds like
boyfriend.
that.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got broke boyfriend vibes for sure. Okay, so this one's called "Stupid Teenage Decisions." So here we go.
God. Well, they're all of them are like young stories.
Yes. Hey ladies, I was lucky enough to hear about your podcast from a close friend of mine about a year ago, and I've been steadily working my way through the episodes, alternating between past and present during my commute. I love
let
that.
me know what that experience is like.
Wow.
Like listening to an episode from 4 years ago and an episode from like last week.
I know.
I don't want to know how much we've changed.
That's amazing.
Like, I thought Keegan hated poop stories. Why? She's telling them.
Why does she keep telling them? It's so bizarre.
I never thought I had anything to share as I was a serial monogamous in college and grad school and got married in my mid-20s. However, listening to some stories about stupid teenage decisions, I recalled one interesting experience back in the mid-90s that you might find entertaining. I'm taking you all the way back to the mid to late 90s. No cell phones, no social media, no Google even. I was a sophomore in high school, 15 years old, living in a smallish town with limited to no dating experience. I had technically had boyfriends before, but only the kind where you would talk on the phone for hours about what? Or
truly
sneakily at movie theaters or football games.
The 90s, there was not talking on the phone for hours about whatever because there's nothing else to do.
There's nothing.
That's how you end up pregnant and teenager.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, that's me.
One weekend while celebrating a friend's birthday, I was staying with a group of girls for an overnight at a local hotel. It was common back then for a parent to get 2 rooms, one for themselves and the other for like a dozen girls to swim, get pizza, and watch movies.
That actually makes sense to me. Again, like there wasn't as much to do. And if you're from a small town, that would be a very exciting kind of like...
You know, like have a pool party, a slumber party.
Pizza, slumber party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The horrible thing is I've been thinking back to this party. I still cannot remember who the friend was that invited me. All I know is that a few of us got bored late at night and started wandering around the hotel.
Yeah.
Yep. This 100%. Is so like my Sweet 16. My mom did that. Actually, got like a cabin at a place, and then they like. Her and my aunt stayed in one room and like didn't come out, and like we were like, we're grown ups. Someone snuck vodka and shit like that. It was awesome. This hotel was pretty big and connected to a casino. In some random hallway, my group of teenage girls, like all 15, 16, came across 3 guys. They were clearly older, which was very exciting.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the guys, we'll call him Todd, and I separated ourselves from the group.
Todd, you know better than this.
Todd.
No,
sir.
Mid-90s, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
This makes...
disrespectful.
This is making so much sense. We sat in an empty stairwell talking for hours. I can't for the life of me remember anything he said.
16-year-old. This happened to me when I was 16. With like a guy who was like 23.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, I'm so mature.
I'm
actually so mature.
So worldly. Have you met my boyfriend, Todd?
Todd's married.
He was tall and kind of scruffy with strong arms containing a few tattoos. I found out he was 21 and I was so flattered and excited that he was at all interested in me. I know you ladies understand this, but good Lord, as a parent, it is such a terrifying prospect to me now. Yeah.
I need to know, like, men like this, what do they think when they look back on that? Like, with like the experience that they have now
I'm
as
sure
adults.
they bury it
deep down.
Deep down.
Yeah, you really have to take a good hard look at yourself to be like, that fucked. My cousin dated a guy in his 20s when she was like 16.
Jesus.
And like people knew about it. And it was just kind of like, well, she's very mature for her age. I'm just like, no. Why does that guy want to be with someone who's in high school? It's fucking weird.
That was me. I totally dated
like
a
me
21-year-old.
Me too. Yep.
Fucking insane, you guys.
I know. He lived on his own and worked full time. We exchanged numbers and spent the next week or so chatting.
You're like, cool. My mom is upstairs. Like, what? You have your own apartment and you work full time?
Yeah.
My mommy still makes my lunches.
Yes.
Yeah.
For school. Like, what are you doing?
For high school, sophomore.
Anyway, okay. I'm going to let it go now.
During one of these conversations, we made plans to hang out the following weekend. I had a basketball game that Friday night for her high school. And as the rest of the team were making plans to go get food at the mall, I was getting ready for Todd to come and pick me up. He showed up outside the high school in his red Camaro, and I felt like the most mature and sophisticated girl in the world.
Oh my God. I think I know Todd.
I am up at high school.
I think I know
Been
Todd.
there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Red Camaro.
triggered.
Yeah.
Mine was
Red
a
Camaro?
black, like, what was it? A Supra or something?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We all knew someone with a Supra.
Yep. We went to his apartment and hung out with his friends and watched a movie. All in all, harmless. But again, looking back, I'm incredibly lucky something else didn't happen. Few more weeks went by, lots of phone talking, and together with a friend of mine who'd been at the birthday party, we made plans to go to his apartment. My friend drove as I didn't have my license, but we got lost. As I said, it's a small town.
Are we friends? Do I know this person?
know.
Are you the friend?
Am I the friend?
You're like, did I fever dream write this in?
Oh my God.
It was during this time when we were slowing down to look at the building numbers that we saw lights flashing behind us. A police officer pulled us over. As you can imagine, this car with teenage girls started to freak out. He came up, got all of our names and ages, and asked where we were going. I have no idea why, but I lied and said I was 16. For some reason, in my teenage brain, 16 sounded better than 15.
She's 15. I was going this whole story thinking she was 16.
Me too.
She's 15.
15. Yeah.
Baby.
I don't
She's
know
a
why
sophomore.
that one year makes even more of a difference to me.
It does,
Right.
for
But
some
like,
reason.
because 15 is... Because I think
Have you
it's because
seen a 15-year-old lately?
Yes.
They're children.
I think because like even though it's like, it's not right, whatever, but we have like sweet 16 for some reason. 16 is like
Feels
a
like a rite of
milestone.
passage. Yeah.
Like that 15, you are still grouped with like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Like babies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We gave him Todd's name and address to assure him that we were simply lost.
Todd's like, keep my name out your mouth.
Oh no.
The police officer advised us to be careful and said they were investigating a drug house in the area and said he pulled us over because it appeared we were circling the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
So we got to Todd's, hung out, and then Todd drove me home. This ended up being the last time that I ever saw him because the following Monday, when my dad got home from work, he asked me who I had been hanging out with the previous weekend and why I had not
That
told
cop
him
knows your dad.
that we had been pulled over by the police.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep. So when he asked me about the past weekend,
everyone.
Yep.
I knew where it was headed because you see the head of security for said professional sports team who they like, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And her dad's like a notable person in the town.
Oh no.
So news had traveled that I had been in a car that was pulled over. The address and Todd's name had been investigated.
No.
And his age and criminal history had been pulled.
Oh.
Nothing too scandalous.
This is a best case scenario for this.
Exactly.
Like, this is the best thing. Yeah.
But you can imagine my dad was none too happy with the fact that his 15-year-old daughter was hanging out with a 21-year-old who had lived on his own and had prior convictions.
You know, this is one of the reasons why I can't be a parent. Because can you fucking imagine that poor dad? Like, I would be... I imagine, I don't have kids, but like, I imagine, of course, like you're scared about them. You're worried about them all the time. Yeah. And then like to get the information that your 15-year-old baby has been hanging out with a 21-year-old guy.
And it's so hard as like, you know, like as women, of course, like we've all been there and you're like, baby, I wish I could tell you. I know exactly where you are and what you're feeling right now and that you think you're mature and you're grown. Yeah. Oh, but God, it's just so hard because teens aren't necessarily receptive to that because, you know, you think you know everything whenever you're 15.
And this is proof that you know everything because why would a 21-year-old be interested in me to you if you weren't just so mature?
Oh, God.
Anyways, so yeah, I immediately agreed to stop having contact with him and to not see him again. I've always been curious if anything happened behind the scenes as Todd, who had called me on a very regular basis, stopped contact with me cold turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody
happened. Came by and was like, you need to stop fucking around with these high school girls. That's
cold
fucked
turkey.
Turns out it's more of a cautionary tale than a worst date, but while disappointed at the time that this amazing and exciting romance was coming to an end, as a parent, I appreciate the matter-of-fact way that this was handled.
Yeah.
So I think this was the result of my dad being able to accomplish what he wanted while simultaneously reminding me that he had eyes everywhere.
It's a small town. That's small town.
Exactly right.
Small town living for you.
That is exactly right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Also, do we know each other?
Yeah.
This feels...
What town were you from?
I know. She also says, and this is fucking amazing. She says, also as an FYI, I wanted to share that I'm a prosecutor and have been told that Dateline is following a few of my cases. If I ever get the chance to meet Keith Morrison, I will make sure to fill you in.
Oh my God. I mean, I would tell you that he should listen to the Dateline Daddies episode, but I don't know that I want Keith Morrison to know what we think about him sexually.
Exactly. Oh my God. Thank you so much for writing in. I feel like it's so, I don't think I know a single woman who hasn't been in that position.
It's weird, which is fucking
gross.
It's gross because it really does say something about
the
men in our culture that they think that it's okay. And I say this all the time too. Like I got hit on so much whenever I was like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, me too.
God. By adult men.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom making comments about it because she'd be like, I'm right here. Because like sometimes it would happen like in front of her and they were like adult men. And she was always, you know, because you do have to ride that line with teenagers. And she was always kind of a good sport about it while also letting me know that like, that's not cool. And I have my eyes on this situation.
Yeah.
Right. Because but what the fuck?
And for the longest time, I think my narrative was always, when I got older, was like, oh man, I shouldn't have put myself in that position.
That's exactly right.
Instead of being like, why the fuck are there men out there who are fucking preying on 15-year-old girls?
Truly.
Right. And it was always like oh man, that was a dumb thing I did.
Yes.
And not like putting any of the fucking blame or anything
on
like
the
that
adult in the situation.
Correct.
The adult. Yeah. The adult who should have been using an adult brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What is your interest in someone in high school?
Just triggered like a serious memory for me. So my friend in one of my really good friends in high school, the one with the minivan.
Hell yeah.
Her name was
minivan
Jenny.
Friends. Yeah, Solidarity. I see you.
Her name was Jenny. And her and I like totally started talking to these guys out of nowhere. And like, I don't even remember the scenario in which we ended up in a car with them. But we were in the town next to my small town that I grew up in. Like New Albany was where we were at.
Yeah.
And New Albany is Ohio is very fancy and it's a very don't fuck around area. And I just remember thinking like these guys were a little older than us, but I didn't think that they were much older than us. But we're in the back seat and we get pulled over. And the officers were like, where were you going? And I was like, I don't know. I was told we were going to a party. I don't know the area. We ended up at the police station. Her mom had to come get us. It was like
being a parent to a teenager must be so scary and exhausting.
It was so scary. It was so scary for us.
Yeah.
Because we were like, of course we're underage. So they were like, no, you're coming to the police station with us.
Yeah. I want more minivan stories.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I want to know the
I
shit
wanna
that
know.
went on in those party buses. I need to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they were. for
Who
sure.
were your minivan friends? Were you the minivan friends? I want all of the
Did your minivan whine? Oh my God. Did you know that what I'm talking about, right?
I don't. What do you mean?
Like I just like every minivan I ever knew in the 90s had the transmission going out.
Mine was
God.
state of the art.
Yeah.
Minivan had electric doors.
Ooh,
Very fancy.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forget you, young baby.
It had a DVD player, which I thought was very
Okay.
fancy,
All right.
where it had like the drop downs for the back seat, so you could watch
damn.
you could watch movies in the back.
These were not the minivans I was.
No, like fucking
Aerostar or
Ford
whatever.
Aerostar.
Yeah.
That's right. And I fucking had duct taped the
Yep.
fucking CD player to the thing.
Yep.
That's anti-skip.
Yeah, it does. Well,
Yep.
you got to do the anti-skip.
So fucking
got it.
funny.
Oh,
What a
oh,
time.
God.
My grandparents had a van, not a minivan, like a real van that had curtains on the windows.
You're getting
That was
fucking
very
nuts.
Did
specific.
it have a wolf on the fucking tire?
No, it was like brown and orange. It had like
Yeah, it did.
stripes.
Stripes.
Yeah. What a good time.
Oh, anything that has curtains on the
Had
inside
curtains.
of it. I know the van
Yeah,
you're talking
like-
about.
It.
I know
That's
this
a
van.
pussy wagon.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I don't want to think about that. I had a lot of cousins, and some of them were probably hooking up in that. I was a kid, but there were teenage cousins I had that.
Oh,
I don't want to
dude.
know what went on in that van.
Dude, that's why we
don't
need
want a
the,
black light in there.
the minivan stories,
Can
man.
you believe my mom let me drive all my friends around in that minivan? If I was a parent, I would be like, no teenagers are fucking in my car.
No.
I have to take my my little kids around in.
It's a lease.
No, man, we were a goddamn mess. We were a goddamn mess.
Jesus. So, well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds
Yes.
good. And we're back. Keegan.
Okay, I have the Tainted Love this week. This one is a bummer. It's a bummer.
okay.
I don't know where I heard about it. I've gotten to this place now where I am one of those people who's like, I have so many tabs open.
Yes.
All the time on every device. Doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, it drives Eric nuts. Because I'll bitch too. I'll be like, oh man, like my video's like glitchy or whatever. He's like, you literally have 42 tabs open in 3 different Chromes.
Yeah. No, truly. Like
Wait,
I literally
it's true.
have 40 tabs open on my phone.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I go to a thing and I don't want to bookmark it. I don't know, but I just want it up as like a reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will find a story, like a Tainted Love story that like, I'm like, oh, maybe I might want to do that. So I'll Google it.
Yeah.
And then just leave the tab open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Find it
I
later.
have like 6 tabs of like potential tainted loves just
Yep.
like open on my phone.
Yep.
And so
Relatable content.
I just scrolled through them until I found this one, which I don't know where I first heard about it, but at some
Wow.
point I Googled it and left the tab open. So
There you go.
so yeah, I am going to tell you the story of Lauren Hugelmaier and Matthew Phelps. So Lauren Hugelmaier was born on June 9th, 1988, and grew up with her parents and 2 sisters in Kentucky. Her family was incredibly tight-knit. They were active in their local church and attended regularly, and the family just really seemed to enjoy each other and loved spending time together. Like, even looking at pictures of her and like seeing her family and seeing them talk, like she reminds me so much of someone I would have been friends with in middle school. Like back whenever I was really active in youth group, she's one of those kids, right? Just kind of like bubbly and fun and silly and maybe like a little naive, but just like kind and well-meaning, you know?
Yeah.
And her family reminds me of like my extended family, where it's like a total board game family. You know how you see certain families and you're like, board game family.
Yes.
Like you guys get
We were a
together
board
and you
game
play
family.
board games. Yes. Yeah. And it just seems really sweet. So Lauren first met Matthew Phelps when they attended the same middle school, though the two didn't seem to be friends at the time. It's more likely that they knew of each other, but you know, they were friendly, but not close in any way. They just went to the same school. Soon, Lauren's family relocated to Raleigh, North Carolina, and the two lost touch. Lauren went on to graduate high school in 2007 and then attend Appalachian State University, also in North Carolina, graduating in 2011 with a degree in business administration and management. By her mid-20s, she seemed to be getting her life off to a good start. She was working as an auditor for a big company, saving money, and teaching Sunday school at her local church. It was around this time when Matthew would come back into her life via Instagram DM.
Wow.
Got it. Slid into them DMs.
Hey, girl. I remember you.
It was definitely one of those.
Babe.
It was definitely one of those things where they had friends in common from middle school, and Instagram was like, "You may know, this person, right?" So one day, Lauren logs onto Instagram to find not only a DM from Matthew, but also dozens of notifications that he has gone through her profile and liked every single one of her pictures.
That's too
Nope.
many.
I don't like that.
And she was a prolific poster. Like she posted regularly. To me, that is a turn off.
Yeah.
It gives me the ick.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
The two began reconnecting via DM, and that soon turned to texting, which soon turned to phone calls. And within a couple of months of their reunion, they had officially begun a long distance relationship because Matthew was still in Kentucky and she was in North Carolina. Not long after this, Matthew decides to relocate to North Carolina to be with Lauren.
I'm getting broke boyfriend vibes. Broke boyfriend vibes. That is so fucking weird. He's like, "Hey, babe."
I don't know. These things,
I think she'll let me borrow your car.
And again, like having grown up in a environment like this, like when you grow up in a religious environment, particularly like maybe an evangelical Christian environment, things tend to progress more quickly because the goal is always marriage.
Right.
So things do move quicker. And I think that parents and people in your general circle don't necessarily see it as a red flag that someone would want to relocate to be with you because they're thinking, well, the end goal is marriage, and that's kind of what you would need to do.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't think that much. How long has it been?
Not that long. I mean, it like not a year, under a year, like months.
Okay.
Relocating to a different state? I don't know. I don't
know. I'm not seeing that as a red flag, really, necessarily. Dating long distance sucks. So, like, if you're really into somebody, somebody's eventually going to have to move.
I think something's broken in me where I'm just like, I'm not trying to completely reconfigure.
Well, I'm also like,
all my friends,
if you're coming out here, do you have a job?
Yeah, what's your plan?
Do you have a job? What's your plan?
Me?
Is it just me?
Your plan is Lauren?
Because I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly how long it'd been. I would say it's probably around 6 months, maybe 6 months or maybe around.
But if he's like, like there's better opportunities for bigger jobs in the area that you're at
absolutely.
or whatever.
And you're established in your career. I don't want you to have to get up and move back.
I would just, I don't know. And maybe it's because I have moved across the country with a boyfriend.
Me too.
But not for him.
Not for him, but even then, like, which for them is even worse.
Yeah.
Like, I would just really caution. You got to know somebody well. Because, like, what if you move across the country, you change your whole, like, it could breed resentment if it doesn't work out because it's like you moved across the country to be with this person and then it didn't work out. And that could, I'm cautious about this kind of thing, but whatever. He moves to be with her. Lauren's family welcomed Matthew into the fold, inviting him to family dinner at their house, which they had every Tuesday night. And her mother in particular really treated her like one of her own, like treated her like a son. Lauren and her father, Dale, were especially close. And Dale was really the only person in the family who expressed apprehension about Matthew. He felt like the relationship was progressing very quickly and generally expressed that he thought something was off about Matthew. But, again, they have a really close relationship. She's daddy's little girl. Like, I think that
there's probably only so much you can say without.
Yeah, I mean, and it could also just be written off as just like he doesn't like it that his little girl's growing up. That's definitely how it would feel if I was Lauren. Like I would be like, oh, you just don't like him because you wouldn't like anybody. Right. His suspicions grew deeper when several months after Matthew moved to North Carolina, he casually revealed during a family game of 21 questions that he had been married before.
Wait, time out.
How old are they?
21 questions with my family?
With my family. Yeah, I'm like, well, you're keeping it. It's Christian 21 questions. You're keeping it PG.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're keeping it PG. You're not. Right.
Oh, no.
I just. No. No, not even a PG.
I don't want to play truth or dare with my family.
No.
You know, there are some secrets that I have on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, not everything's for everybody.
We don't need to share.
Yep.
But the news that he'd been married previously was news to everyone, including Lauren. Like they didn't.
He's like,
know.
well, you asked me in 21 questions, so I have to tell you.
Be honest. Yeah.
What is happening?
And when the family pressed for details about the relationship or why it ended, Matthew seemed evasive. Still, Dale could see that Lauren was head over heels for Matthew, and the two seemed happy and devoted to each other, so he let it go and supported the relationship. Matthew also expressed to Lauren and her family that he had dreams of attending seminary and becoming a pastor, which was very appealing to the Hugelmaier family, right? The couple eventually got engaged in 2015 and married the following year in 2016. They shared a love for...
Somewhat recent then.
Yeah, somewhat recent. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They shared a love for the Star Wars franchise. It's actually part of what they bonded over in DMs. You know?
Okay.
So they incorporated that theme into their wedding, even having a lightsaber battle on the dance floor.
I fucking love that.
How do you guys feel about this?
I'm not a
It's not
Star
for
Wars
me.
fan.
No. I mean, just in general,
themed
like having
fandoms.
like a fandom as part of your...
It's not for me, but if it's something that if you two are just like nerdy,
That's your
geeky,
thing.
that's your thing. I wouldn't do it. Like I love Harry Potter. I wouldn't have a Harry Potter themed wedding. But
Yeah,
if
I
it's-
love like Sandman. I
Right.
love like Neil Gaiman or whatever.
Right.
But
You're not going to make him dress up as...
Yeah, no, as Morpheus.
No, and it's not for me, but I can see how like, if that's something that you two really bonded over that like helped your relationship to grow or whatever, then that could...
It's the same way I
cute.
feel about Disney adults. Let people live.
Yeah, let people like
Not
what they
hurting
like.
nobody.
Yeah, you're not hurting anyone.
I think it's kind of fun if they both love Star Wars and they did like a lightsaber thing at their
Lightsaber battle.
wedding.
And they're not.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I think it's cute.
yeah.
But yeah.
So
It's just them into a microphone.
okay, let's talk a little bit about Matthew and his upbringing. Matthew was a year younger than Lauren, and unlike her, his family was not close or stable. His father wasn't in the picture, and his mother, by many accounts, seemed distant and uninterested in being a mother. Like she was just not about that life. She cycled through relationships, and Matthew went through a string of stepfathers, none of whom he was particularly close to. The one he did seem to get along with bonded with him over a love of horror movies, and that was the primary way that the two would spend time together. Now, obligatory disclaimer as the resident horror movie fan.
Correct.
Enjoying watching horror movies does not necessarily mean
Right.
Not even a little bit. Not even a
that
fucking little bit.
you're gonna be like violent or anything like that. But it was just, one of those things that like he didn't have a lot of strong male role models in his life, and this was an early connection that he made, and that is what they bonded and connected over.
Okay.
So eventually, the instability began to have an effect on Matthew, and by the time he entered high school, he was acting out, skipping class, and experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and was soon abusing cold medicine, which, if taken in high enough doses, can cause a high that results in hallucinations, euphoria, agitation, psychosis, and out-of-body experiences.
Ooh.
As
medicine?
Yeah, you have to take a lot of it, but that was a big thing in the like early 2000s. That like scissor situation. Remember,
scissor.
people would like,
Yeah.
As his addiction escalated, his grandparents decided to intervene, moving Matthew into their house and enrolling him in a private Christian academy. The strict rules and structure of life with his grandparents did seem to do Matthew good. He got sober and attended a Baptist Bible college after high school with the hopes of becoming a pastor. As I said,
It screams. I think that it's the same way I think about anybody who like joins a cult, right? In the beginning, a lot of these things are very good for you, but sometimes people with addiction,
they replace
issues, they replace like this one addiction with a different type of addiction.
Yep.
Right. I mean, and the thing is, finding spirituality or finding an anchor in a belief system can be really helpful for
That's exactly
people.
right.
And like, so setting aside any of like my own experiences, like I try not to judge,
Of
like
course.
whatever you need to like get you.
But this
right.
person isn't just like taking the knowledge and taking the wisdom. This person's like,
right.
I'm so into it. I want to become a preacher. Like,
and the issue is like finding spirituality in a belief system can be very helpful, but you still have to deal with all of the underlying shit because it's still there. You're just slapping, a Christianity on top of it, which isn't like it's not going to fix whatever the problems were. So it's okay that you have that. Yeah. But you need to also deal with process whatever trauma you had to really get past it, As I said, Lauren was a frequent poster on social media, and that continued after she and Matthew married, with her often posting selfies of the two of them with wordy, loving captions, and he, in turn, wasn't shy about sharing his life with Lauren on social media. It really was one of those things where it's just like, it's that couple who
my God.
They didn't share an account, but it's just like, it is one of those where it's just
he has can't my
imagine life without you.
A day goes by without
6 months. I can't believe it's been 6 months. It's just flown by. Like things like that. Just like that couple. That couple where you're like, all right, fucking.
We get it.
Down. We get it. You love each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
From the outside, they seemed to have the perfect relationship, but privately, cracks were beginning to display less than a year into their marriage. Though Lauren's family was very accepting of Matthew's mom was outwardly hostile to Lauren.
That's unnecessary.
Yeah. When she came to Kentucky, to meet his whole her whole family, after Matthew and Lauren had gotten engaged.
Yeah.
So she came to the engagement party. Lauren's family threw an engagement party. She came in a white dress to the engagement party. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then after Lauren and Matthew got married, she was like, hey, they were going to Kentucky for a visit. And so the mom was like, hey, while you guys are here, we're going to do big family photos. So she talked to Lauren, she called Lauren, and she was like, we're all wearing blue. So like pack outfits for you and Matthew, blue outfits. So Lauren did. She picked like nice blue outfits. They get there. And it turns out that all the men are wearing blue and all the women are supposed to be wearing white. So she didn't tell Lauren. And then she threw like a massive fit that Lauren brought the wrong color and canceled the photos.
Okay. Ma'am, you don't have like a t-shirt I can borrow, something I can run up to the store.
No, also, because the whole point of it was just...
do you care now?
You
didn't care when he was a kid. So why are you acting like this now?
I don't know.
It's so
people
weird.
Are weird. They have like shame and guilt, I think, manifests weirdly for people. I don't know. Additionally, while Lauren maintained her auditing job, taught Sunday school, and began selling Scentsy after their marriage, sweet baby angel, she got into that MLM lifestyle.
He's, streaming on the couch.
Matthew seemed to have an aversion to work.
Oh God. I fucking knew it.
A common cycle he would go through was Matthew would find a job, start working, then suddenly leave the job with little explanation as to what the reason was.
It literally is broke
He's
boyfriend.
Broke boyfriend.
Yep.
He's broke boyfriend. He would get a job, and then she'd be like, great, Matthew has a job. Fantastic. And then she would come home.
I know more than my managers.
Yeah, they just don't understand me there. It's okay. I'll find a new job.
I'm telling you what, be glad I left early because I was about to
do something I didn't want to do. Yeah.
Oh God.
Awful. And of course we are anti MLM on this podcast, but Lauren did, I think she really did it with like the best of intentions. It was that kind of
everybody gets into it with the best of intentions. Yeah. The problem is the system itself is predatory.
It's predatory, right?
Period.
But she was trying to sell Scentsy, and she set up a YouTube account, and it's just, I don't know, it's such a bizarre thing covering true crime like in this day and age, because there is so much, everybody is out there on the internet, and to see somebody like, talking and you know, it's just an interesting thing. It's a trip. When Matthew sensed that Lauren was at the end of her rope, he agreed to go back to school to continue his education towards becoming a minister. So he placated her, right? She's like, I'm at the end of what I can tolerate. And he's just like, oh, I'll go back to school. I'll go back to school to be a pastor like you want me to be. Which is never the way.
No.
It's never good. But that didn't really help the couple financially in the meantime. And in addition to his inability to hold down a job, he also had a spending problem.
No, I'm going to say it's about time for him to cheat on her too. Yeah, that has to be upcoming. Mm-hmm. It follows a very distinct pattern.
Specific pattern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody that's like can't get a job and feels emasculated at the same time. I'm like, I'm calling this.
Yep.
So he was spending more than they were making on frivolous purchases such as electronics from Best Buy. He spent a lot of his time at Best Buy. This is broke boyfriend all the way around. Blowing through Lauren's savings until she only had about $1,000 of savings left.
Oh my God.
This caused obviously a lot of strain in the relationship, leading to arguments. It was frustrating for Lauren, who was a saver and a hard worker, and it prevented the couple from doing things together. So being Star Wars fans, from what I gathered, I think they kind of like delayed having a honeymoon because they were like, we're going to save. So their plan was to save money to go to Disney World so they could like do the whole Star Wars experience and everything. But every bit of money they would save to go to Disney World, Matthew would spend. So they couldn't save.
This makes me want to scream.
I am so triggered. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, this episode has been full of just like reminders of relationships in my 20s. If anybody in their early 20s is listening to this, it's not materialistic to demand that the person with you is on the same page financially as you.
Yeah.
They can be broke, quote unquote, but working towards something,
right?
That's
fine, really what it's about. It's like it's not
ambition.
about the it's about the ambition. It's not really about the amount of money they have in their bank account. It's about being on the same page in terms of like, what's your strategy for like budgeting and saving? What are your goals?
And I'm sorry if they get upset about having these questions brought up. That's a fucking red flag.
It is.
It's a big red flag.
Yep.
If they get defensive about the way if they're like, oh, well, you just don't even blah, 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 and they turn it around, fucking red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it goes both ways too. I feel like we probably have some male listeners that have broke girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
yeah. It definitely goes both ways. Mm-hmm. There were also rumors of infidelity.
Yep.
And several of Matt and Lauren's female neighbors said that he was very flirty with them. And there was a situation where Lauren, like, he had just told her, like, I'm going to go back to school and become a minister. Things were good. They were trying to make repairs to the relationship. So she's like, okay, I'm going to make a nice dinner for us. Like, I'm going to, we're going to have a good night here at home. So she was in the middle of cooking dinner and a woman came to the door. Named Valerie, and was like, so he went out and talked to her, then came back in and was like, Valerie needs my help with something really quickly. I'll be back. Like, and so she's like, what? So he left.
Who
the fuck?
Who Valerie?
Right. I think she must have been a neighbor or something. But like, and I framed it like he was helping her with her car or some shit. Like needed help. So she's like suspicious, but lets him go. But then she's done with dinner. She's fucking waiting for him to come home. He's not back yet. So she's texting him and he texts her and says, go ahead and have dinner. I'm having too much fun.
Too much fun helping her?
Yeah. What? Doing what?
Okay.
So at that point she's texting her sister and is like, I think I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to be done. Like she was raised in a worldview where like she doesn't want to get divorced. She doesn't want to end her relationship. She wants to try and make it work.
Yeah.
But this is becoming untenable. Like
it's got to be a two-way street. Yeah. Right. He's obviously showing his complete lack of respect for her and for himself.
Right.
So
and
fuck him.
She tells her sister like he's ruining my life because it's like financially, like emotionally, mentally, like all of those things. Like it adds up. Right. But at the same time he's doing these things, he's also very paranoid about what Lauren is doing. So Lauren works as a Sunday school teacher, and there's someone else who works at the church named David, who Lauren is friends with. And Matthew is very paranoid.
Oh, projection. 1,000% projection.
Right. So he tells her that this is because his first wife cheated on him, went to a mission trip, met somebody else, came home, packed up his shit and left him. So he says that like, I'm sorry, I'm just like, basically I'm so triggered by this. That's why I have trust issues. It's because that's how my first marriage ended. So On September 1st, 2017, a 911 dispatcher receives a call. The call is Matthew Phelps, and he tells the dispatcher that he thought he had killed his wife, but he had no idea when or how it happened. So this is the call. And you can listen to the call, like you can find it. But I had a dream, and then I turned on the lights and she's dead on the floor. I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it. I can't believe this. I don't even know what time it is. And so the dispatcher is asking questions. She's like, do you see her? She's like, yeah, I see her. She's 29. She's not breathing. So after a long portion of the phone call, Matthew admits to why he was acting so strangely. And he says, I took more medicine than I should have. I took quercetin, cough and cold, because I know it can make you feel good. And a lot of times I can't sleep at night. So he says, I took too much cough medicine, and that's why I don't remember what happened. Like I fell asleep. I don't remember what happened. So police and the ambulance arrive quickly, and they find Lauren, and this is so sad. They find Lauren in the fetal position with her hair in her hands. So she's like clutching onto her hair.
God.
She's rushed to the hospital, but it's too late. She's declared dead. An autopsy would find that she was stabbed 123 times.
Oh my God.
44 cuts were around her face and neck, some of which were more than 4 inches deep.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
That's so awful.
123.
Oh my God.
Dude.
When investigators examine the crime scene, they find the cough medicine laid out on the bathroom counter in a method that they would later say appeared staged. Like it was very like, here it is.
Look what I did.
Despite Lauren's injuries, Matthew had almost no blood on him, which indicated that he had taken time to clean himself up. He appeared eerily calm to investigators, and they also found that while Matthew did have cough syrup in his system, it was not a high enough quantity to make it unsafe for him to drive, let alone get him high to the point where he would be hallucinating or experiencing psychosis, you know. During their investigation, Matthew admitted that he had been, quote, unintentionally violent with his first wife, which was a woman named Brooke, and would later come to with no memory of the events. So he was basically trying to say, like, this has happened before where I've been aggressive and didn't remember it. When they tracked Brooke down, she confirmed that Matthew had been abusive towards her, saying that he had once dragged her off of the bed and pinned her to the floor, though she does not believe that this had anything to do with drugs. She also says that Matthew's story about how their relationship ended wasn't true, and shared that a lot of the behavior that he exhibited with Lauren was true for their relationship as well. The overspending, the lack of work, controlling behavior, etc.
Wow.
Police knew that Lauren was considering leaving Matthew, but continued to look for motives as to why he could have done this. They soon found a journal he kept where he repeatedly expressed not being good enough for Lauren. That inadequacy.
Yeah. Yep.
They also
Instead
found...
of doing anything about it, they fucking punish the woman.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. They also found that Matthew had an obsession with the movie American Psycho.
Oh my
and
God.
even had a red flag.
Yeah.
I said that's on my red flag bookshelf.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like
100%.
And
Sorry.
again, reading the book and enjoying the book and having it on your bookshelf is one thing. Being like, this is my favorite book.
Yeah.
Is like...
That's a red flag. I'm sorry.
It just is.
It is.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is.
So he had an obsession with that movie, and he had a secret second Instagram account with the handle Marty_radical, where he shared pictures from the movie. So even like the profile picture was a picture of Patrick Bateman, and multiple photos of himself dressed as the main character, Patrick Bateman.
Sir.
Ooh.
That's
right. Yeah.
It is a scarlet flag.
Yes. Especially when your public facing Instagram account is all just like buttoned up polos, going to be a pastor. I love my wife so much. And then you have a secret second account. Like that's a very red flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right before he murdered Lauren, he posted an Instagram photo with the caption saying, "Everyone thinks I'm a serial killer. # found an angel to kill." So
wow.
Right before.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Matthew was charged with first-degree murder, and during the trial, the prosecution alleged that he knew what he was doing when he killed Lauren. they found on Matthew's phone that in the days before the murder, he had searched, how loopy does Coricidin make you? And have other people been high from Coricidin? So, I mean, he'd taken cough medicine before, but maybe he was talking about this specific brand. I don't know. And the makers of this cough medicine came forward and they're like, what happened was awful, but like, we've done...
One of the side effects is not murder.
Right. And there's no proof that like it makes you violent. Like we've done studies. It doesn't make you violent in this way.
Wow.
Investigators also did a luminol test around their apartment to see if there was any of Lauren's blood that Matthew tried to clean up before the police could see it. And sure enough, there were traces of blood everywhere. There was blood all over the bathroom. And it was obvious that Matthew had cleaned it up before authorities got there.
Wow.
With all the evidence against Matthew, he accepted a plea deal and pled guilty to first-degree murder. At his sentencing on October 5th, 2018, Lauren's friends, family, and church congregation showed up wearing purple to raise awareness for domestic violence and show their solidarity with domestic violence victims. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Lauren's family is continuing to grieve the loss of her, and they feel a sense of, they've been very outward, that they feel a sense of blame for not stopping the relationship. No, right?
You couldn't have done it even if you tried.
Yeah.
Her sister gave a statement, quote, "He seemed to love Lauren in spite of any flaws she could have and would do anything to make her happy. What we didn't know was that he was playing a game, a very deadly game. He was luring all of us into a trap by taking advantage of our kindness and generosity. We never once thought Lauren was in danger."
Wow.
No, that's the dark side, honestly, of the broke boyfriend is like when you get to a place where like, cause they know they're not good enough for you. Right. And when you get to a point where you realize it, when you know it, that it's dangerous. Yeah. It can be dangerous. Yeah.
They have put together an organization called Lauren's Light, which raises awareness for abusive relationships and domestic violence. And this was just included in one of the Medium articles I read, but I figure never hurts to highlight this again. If you or someone you know may be in a dangerous relationship, domestic violence, or an abusive relationship, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to www.thehotline.org.
Yeah. No, that's so informative. I'm constantly, I think, surprised by the fact that like 300 episodes in, that we can still find these tainted loves. And for
sadly,
me,
the well will never run dry.
The purpose of it is to look at it and be like, you know, what lesson or what can I take away from this to protect myself or protect my friends, that kind of thing. And like the broke boyfriend, we have not gone there yet.
It's also good to know that, like, or a good reminder that domestic violence can look all kinds of ways.
Right.
I think we expect it to look in one specific way where it's just like there's this like brutal man who's like beating you for not having dinner on the table every night. And that's not always what it looks like. From what I was able to find out, I don't think he was ever physical with her before.
Right.
But I think there was definitely emotional abuse, financial abuse, and other things going on that led him to physical abuse.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it can look all kinds of ways. And just because it doesn't look the way that you might see on an episode of Criminal Minds doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yep.
So.
Oh, good one. Oh, well, what are you guys watching this week? Oh, before I forget, the broke boyfriend TikTok handle, if you want to go check them out, if you want to be triggered.
That poor guy, because he's probably a sweetie, and his TikTok makes me hate him.
Nails it.
Because he's so good at it.
Nails it.
Too good at it.
Yeah, he's too good at it.
Yeah, it's AV. So I don't know if it's AV or AV, but if you look up broke boyfriend, it's the first one that comes up. Top
you'll
lights. You'll know
because you'll be triggered within the first 5 seconds.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Woof.
So what I've been watching, I just finished all of Unforgotten. which is on
that show so much.
PBS.
Oh, I
I
love
know.
that show.
I was trying to talk to you about the new season. You
So
didn't
good.
know there was a new
I haven't caught up on the new season yet.
So good. The new season that was just out.
I
I'm
need to
telling
check
you,
it out. I love PBS.
It's classic British procedural.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And
Who's
every
in it?
season is a different case. It's got the woman, her name is Nicola something.
Yeah.
You might recognize her if you see her.
She's the lead on Annika. She
was in Last Tango in Halifax. Like she's a British actress.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
She plays Detective Cassie Stewart.
Yeah.
Stare.
Yeah. And then, so it's really kind of focuses around her and her partner, the icon. And like it's just so fucking good. And this latest season is really, really good.
I'm starting it today.
Oh, it's
like
I can't wait.
Dude,
like
you sold me.
Text me.
You
Text
sold me.
me.
You sold me.
All right.
Okay.
so good. Okay, I have a couple because we haven't recorded for a couple weeks. I went and saw Talk to Me because we're going into spooky season.
Yes.
And so I'm going to have the horror movie recommendation. Loved it.
All
I
right.
loved it. Now, listen, it is more brutal than I was expecting. Like, it's like...
That's the one with the hand.
With the hand.
Right? Yeah. I saw that.
It is unsettling.
Yeah.
And I was expecting kind of a supernatural horror. There's some physical horror elements that I wasn't, of some body horror that I wasn't quite expecting. But overall, really liked it. Like, would watch it again. Like, liked it a lot. I also watched, and I thought about doing this for a Tainted Love, but didn't make sense because there is a podcast that exists already. There is a show called Betrayal. The podcast is the same name.
with the 2 wedding rings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I watched it. I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes. I watched it on Hulu. It is upsetting.
Oh,
It is about like a woman who was married to this guy. Some stuff came out and like she found all of his like secrets.
Ooh.
And so definitely I'm not going to do a Tainted Love on it because there's a whole podcast about it already. So
right.
go listen to that podcast. It's going to be more thorough anyway, but there is also the TV show if you're interested in that.
So I I've got 2 things as well. Listening to the new podcast from Jake Johnson and Gareth from The Dollop. It's called We're Here to Help. They take listener calls.
I love Jake Johnson.
I love
him.
Jake Johnson. I think he's so fresh. And so they take listener calls for like problems that listeners are having. Like this latest one had like a pregnant woman was too nervous to talk to people at the sex club that she goes to. And so Jake Johnson is trying to talk.
How do you give it? But I wouldn't be. I'm like I don't know. Have you tried talking about the weather? I could never. I don't know. I don't know how to help you.
It's so funny. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Always love recommending new podcasts. And then the other thing I started watching, Justified.
Wow.
With Timothy Oliphant.
I love him.
I'm surprised, but you don't seem like the Justified type. How do you like it?
I gotta say, I'm not loving it so far.
There you go.
I don't think it's going to be for me either.
I'm like, so first of all, this motherfucker is a U.S. Marshal. He shoots and kills somebody in like every episode.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, they would never let this maniac on the street.
No. Well,
like, I mean, I hope.
Well,
it's cop porn, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
It's not hitting.
The number of times, really, like you would think that cops take their guns out every time they're out of the house. Like whenever you're watching any of those police procedurals, like American police procedurals, because it's just like, you guys unholster your weapon every fucking episode.
Yeah. And it's supposed to take place in Harlan County, Kentucky, which I'm like, I'm like, okay, as somebody that's been to Kentucky and worked in Kentucky and that kind of thing, I'm like, first of all, that's not Kentucky. It definitely like was filmed in Los Angeles.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm just like,
they couldn't have even filmed it in Atlanta.
I know. Come on.
You gotta like at least go to
Something.
Georgia.
But yeah, I'm not digging it thus far. I'm only like 4 episodes in, so I might drop it. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole new season of Only Murders in the Building that's calling my name. So,
and now you have
and now I have this one. Yes, exactly.
I am also rewatching Sister Wives from season 1.
Oh my God.
I need to know where did it go wrong? Where did we lose the magic?
Dude, I need to find out when that House of Villains
I'm going to
airs.
watch the shit out of that.
That is appointment television.
The trailer with New York, Tiffany, New York, Collard, just being the most extra you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I am on board. And when she goes after Omarosa in the trailer, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Calls her cunt, man. Oh my God. Too much.
Listen, I'm ready for that Golden Bachelor.
I am going to a
Same.
screening of it next week. So I will report back what the first episode is like. I hope it is unhinged.
I do too.
Oh, I love
found
it.
out
Great
that
for Unhinged.
One of the past bachelors, his mom is on it. Ooh, I fucking can't wait.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I know you in your 20s think that you can do drama.
No.
No one can do drama.
No one does drama
like an older
like
woman.
an older woman. No, they got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They're there. They know what they're there for. They're not.
Hinged.
Everybody says that they're not there to make friends or play games. Old people really aren't.
No.
They're like, I know exactly why I'm here, and I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Gonna be great. Gonna be great. Well, hey, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible date story, especially if it involves a minivan, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.